informal sector in Ghana employs around 80 to 90% of the total workforce. Informal workers generally fall under self-employed, small, medium-sized enterprises. In particular, they comprise essentially of rural agricultural sector workers, small-scale gold and diamond mining activities. In Ghana, we use a certain local term called galamsey. These are informal. Garage operators, repair shops, others include shoe manufacturing businesses, wide categories of occupational groups that engage in commuter transport services in the major cities. In most of the major cities, like in Kenya, I think they call them boda boda. In Ghana, it's called trotro. Private taxi drivers, and so on. And then you have dominated, the retail trade is largely informal. The other point I wanted to make is the effect of COVID on the informal sector. I think, as I said earlier, the informal sector is the sector that is most vulnerable because there are no social safety nets to support employers or employees in the sector. So the notion of decent job is missing. And COVID had a much harder impact, I think all over Africa, but also in Ghana on the economy. The informal sector perhaps was the hardest hit because during the lockdown, the informal sector, just anybody working in the formal sector is completely affected. Unlike the formal sector employees who may continue to enjoy their salaries or wages and so on. Those in the informal sector, own account workers, of course, would not be earning any income. And therefore, there was tremendous pressure to strike the balance. The friction between lives and livelihood became a major issue. And while most countries adhere to the principles, the protocols of WHO in terms of masking and social distancing and lockdown, there was clearly tremendous pressure also to open. And then with stimulus packages or packages to help redress this challenge, particularly, for example, in Ghana, the Ghana government, had over 600 million cedis, equivalent to a little over 100 million US dollars to support private sector in mitigating the risk and the impact of COVID in terms of, mitigating any unemployment increases. But then the informal sector is left out because they do not have a formal arrangement which would allow the system to be able to provide that kind of support. And in some sense, many informal organizations started regularizing by having tax compliant accounts and so on. But again, it came too late and many of them were not, did not have access to this. So these are some of the challenges that the informal sector faces.